Please listen carefully.
Well, hello, the universe, and welcome to the Optimist Daily Update. I'm Kristy Jansen.
And I'm Summers McKay.
And we're part of the team behind the Optimist Daily, making solutions the news. We bring you reader-funded solutions news every day in order to change the tenor of news media, social media, and the direction of your day to one focused on solutions.
7 days a week, we publish positive news stories written by award-winning journalists and delivered online to your inbox and through our social channels. And now we are sharing these solutions in a commute-worthy, podcast-worthy, video-worthy. Kristy and I are going to be super all thumbs today because we're doing it different-worthy, but that's okay-worthy podcast. Today is Monday, the 16th of November, 2020. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hi, Summers. I am fine. It's a little awkward because I'm actually looking at you while I'm talking to you. Usually I'm just looking at the articles that we're talking about, and I get to watch Stila swimming around his little desktop aquarium.
His habitat. His
habitat. So I look at him, and that's what keeps me focused when I talk to you. Now, that's not so much, right?
But let's be honest, whenever you're on video, the truth is, we're always kind of looking at ourselves more than we are looking at the other person, and that's just the Zoom fail, where it's wait, does my hair do I look up? Yeah. Okay.
I'm cheating on that because I'm only looking at your video. I've hidden the big video behind my Google Doc.
I like your strategy. Well, guys, the reason this particular podcast, and if you're listening to it on your traditional podcast channels, you will just hear the audio, but the full-length video will be available. And we're doing something a little bit different this week, mostly because our publicity team has asked us for some video of Kristy and I having these scintillating morning conversations, but also to get to know us a little bit. A lot of our readers have been asking for more information about who is behind the Optimist Daily and who we are and why we do what we do. And so to serve that request, we are going to do kind of a weird little interview series where Kristy will interview me and I will interview her. And we'll talk about today's solutions. So thanks, everybody, for a different kind of format today. How are we going to pull this off, Kristy? What's next?
Well, I suppose we could move right past all of our normal morning chit-chat, and let's just make it about you, Summers. Let's start with you.
All right. I'm ready. Okay. Let me take a sip of coffee here.
Take a sip of your coffee. Okay.
All right.
So, Summers McKay, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do? That's a very open-ended question, so let's see what you take out of that.
I know. It is an open-ended question. Who I am and what I do. Well, my name is Summers McKay, and I am the CEO of the Optimist Daily. We are a positive news publishing organization. We publish over 70 stories a week of positive solution-based news. We have an amazing team that I get to lead. And what I do... Well, I like to consider myself sort of a collector of great seeds and great stories and great people, and I help put everyone together into the same room, the same garden, so that we can grow. I guess what I do on a daily basis is I get up really early in the morning with my itty-bitty teeny tiny daughter, and I run around and chase after her for hours, thinking about how to be a CEO. And then I scramble myself into my desk, oftentimes wearing pajamas and possibly baby food, to a full day's work with the Optimist Daily team. I help our team with strategy, with production, with overall growth, and I work with our stakeholders and our investors to keep the funnel of capital coming in so the Optimist Daily can continue to operate as we move toward profitability.
And grow. We're the garden that you're nurturing, right?
Yes. Exactly. I help good things grow. That's what I do. I help good things grow.
I like it. So you've been an entrepreneur for quite a while, and I know that's part of your passion is starting things and growing them. But what drew you specifically to the Optimist Daily as an entrepreneur?
Well, the mission and the content first drew me in, right? The idea that the Optimist Daily is on a mission to get 100 million people to start their day with a positive solutions-oriented mindset was incredibly compelling. But like any entrepreneur and like many startups, a big lofty vision isn't enough to justify business engagement. And so when I had the opportunity to come kind of vet the Optimist Daily with the team, what I found were unparalleled levels of commitment from the readers and the audience. The content and the mission was beautiful, And then the engagement from our customers and our readers and our community was just unparalleled, off the charts, open rates, forward rates. More than 5% of our reading community are emissaries and pay on a monthly basis. And then we have this wild group of super emissaries who pay 10 times what other emissaries do simply because they believe in this mission. So in addition, I have to say, and this is something that's so critical as an entrepreneur, the team really brought me in. Kristy, you really brought me in. Actually, our first time ever meeting, we sat at a coffee shop for what was supposed to be a quick 20-minute meet and greet because you had another meeting to get to. And about 2 hours later,
yeah,
we were
I
like,
think it was way over. I think I canceled my next appointment.
Exactly. I think you canceled your next appointment. And, if I remember, it was a rainy day and we both had just tons of matcha tea. And I just thought, this is a woman that I am very excited to work with and collaborate and figure out how to grow this business together.
Wow.
So those are the sort of 3 pillars that brought me in.
I love it. I remember that first meeting, and part of what has kept me so engaged is the collaborative nature of our working relationship. And it's been wonderful sharing this journey with you. So I feel nurtured by you, and I feel like I am also helping to nurture you and help you
Absolutely.
stay strong here.
And let me just continue on that conversation topic. In the way that Kristy and I lead the Optimist Daily, we do so in a collaborative, horizontal structure. That's not to say that the team members don't know who they report to or know what their duties are, but it's skills building, personal growth, and collaboration. Kristy and I have just absolute, no question asked transparency. We are as clear with one another as we possibly can be, and we've both helped each other through relatively difficult or challenging times in our professional lives. And I think that right now, entrepreneurs are often struggling. Right now, the world is in a really challenging place, whether it is the geopolitical environment, the pandemic, and other climate challenges that are happening. Entrepreneurs and people are really, really down in the dregs. And what I know to be something that has allowed our business to be successful is that horizontal, collaborative, and totally transparent leadership that I think keeps our team loyal because, as you and I have an amazing team of people who work for us, but keeps our team loyal, keeps them committed, and we give everybody the space to say, hey, I'm having a super terrible day and I'm not feeling confident about this work or this work. And instead of any old fashioned cover your tail behavior, we say, okay, let's problem solve. Let's work together. We talk about at the Optimist Daily that we have pragmatic optimism, determined optimism, occasionally rose-colored glasses optimism if we're just talking about kittens. But that pragmatic and determined optimism, I think, are really, really good elements of what we do here at the Optimist Daily.
Well, I think part of what you're talking about is that we're trying to not just preach, but also practice what we preach. So it's about creating a kind of corporate culture that breeds that kind of commitment and that kind of collaborative, positive nature, because that is what we're all about, right? And I've heard it said often in my business career that culture trumps strategy all the time. So if you can't embody what you're telling the people who work for you and with you to model, then it's going to be a false promise there. And so it's more about inspiration, right? And not just dogmatic, here's what you have to do.
Right.
And I think some of the answer to my next question might be embodied in this, but I wanted to talk with you a little bit about how to find optimism in the world right now. You talked about it a little bit with entrepreneurs, but these are challenging times. Small businesses are really struggling. Families are struggling. We're looking at the holidays and possibly not wanting to get together or not being able to because of the pandemic. So how can people find optimism during these kinds of troubling times in the world?
Well, that question has some really simple, pat answers that we see all the time, whether it's in blogs or posts where
journaling and houseplants,
journaling, right? Journaling and do yoga and all of the things that we know are good mind body habits, right? And that is not to discount journaling, meditation, yoga, good nutritious eating. All of those things are very important to creating a solution for optimism. But what we say at the Optimist Daily is solutions aren't siloed. And you can't just assume one thing will be your checkmate to optimism, to resetting. I think first and foremost, acknowledging the challenge of where we're at, acknowledging it and speaking your truth and sharing your voice with friends or family remotely by way of Zoom or, by way of video conferencing or even on your social platforms. But I think when you're sharing that truth, you also have to look to where are the positive lights? Where are the things that would give you joy? And I have a phrase that's be the role model you wish you had. And in my life, in my career as a professional woman, there have not been tremendous amounts of other business leaders who were women that I could really look up to. And so I made a decision to be the role model I wanted to have by way of saying, how do I dig deep for my personal optimism, my personal commitment to growth? And then also working really all of those good, healthy mind and body practices, and then talking to people that you love and talking to them about what makes them optimistic. There are other practices that we've found that really can help you find optimism. One of them is gratitude, right? Absolutely, fundamentally, if you can express the things you're grateful for, whether it is your mail carrier who shows up every day with your Amazon package, or your best friend who is always posting darling pictures, of her dog. There are things you're grateful for, and expressing gratitude will help you dig into optimism. I think also knowing that feelings are feelings, but they're not necessarily real or true. Feelings aren't facts. Feelings are feelings. And that doesn't mean you need to fix them, but you can feel your feelings, but know that they're not facts and they're not permanent. And, as we go into the holiday season, I think gratitude is probably the most important thing that we can really look at for optimism. What are we grateful for, and what do we want to continue to be grateful for? And then be the role model and be the expression of gratitude that you want to see all around you.
I love that. And I think it's also about having like that kind of a gratitude orientation and the positive orientation. It helps you just reframe the situation. It's not like turning away and pretending like it's not happening.
Exactly.
But it's acknowledging it, but reframing it to see, so what can I learn from this? What can I take away from this? And how can I nurture myself and the people that matter to me and the things that matter to me in my life, right? So you have that kind of a goal directed.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Wait. Let me add one more thing. Copious amounts of kitten videos.
Okay.
Furry animals and kitten videos. If you're feeling low, don't hesitate to go into that rabbit hole of darlingness.
I don't think we've done kitten videos. I've seen dogs more than cats, but why do you think that the Optimist Daily has continued to be successful during this pandemic? What do you think we have to offer the world? What's going on there?
When the pandemic first occurred and everyone was sort of ushered home, we saw a skyrocketing engagement on social media, right? But then there was a trailing effect and people were becoming less engaged, less committed. At the Optimist Daily, we saw almost a doubling of our traffic in the time period, and month over month, we have continued to that. I believe the reason that this has been so successful is people truly are looking for alternatives. The ubiquitous storytelling that is out there is negative and emotion baiting, and we have a phrase that we've been working with called emotional inflammation. I think people are looking for the anti-inflammatory effect of positive solution-based stories. And that is what we offer at the Optimist Daily. We offer an escape. We offer 5 to 10 minutes every single morning where you start feeling good. And I believe that the reason the Optimist Daily continues to do well is we deliver on the promise. We haven't wavered. We don't change. Whether the political situation is inflamed or calm, whether the climate situation is inflamed or calm, we are a steady course of solution-based information. And we cover all sorts of stories, right? We cover our tech, we cover design, we cover policy making, but we never have an emotional slant to it. We can have passion for our solutions, but we aren't here to inflame. And I think people are really grateful for that. And I am so impressed with our editorial team for the fact that they cull through millions and millions and millions of lines of stories every single week and find the good. And I think people are looking for the good, and that's what we deliver at the Optimist Daily.
Love it. And I, as the head of the editorials, I like that a lot. That is
the
my
Optimist
focus.
Daily is doing great, Kristy, because of you.
I'll take it.
Yep.
So you spoke a little bit before about entrepreneurs and how they can dig deep and weather a challenging storm. So, do you have any further thoughts on that? Because I know that your identity is very much about being a teacher and a guide for the entrepreneurial set. And how would you respond to entrepreneurs who are really at their wits' end at the moment?
Yeah. So resource-constrained entrepreneurship is exhausting, right? There is nothing more difficult than being an entrepreneur and being constrained in resources. And right now, many, many, many entrepreneurial endeavors are constrained by resources. What I think I would recommend to everyone is look to your customers and your stakeholders and have a real heart-centered conversation around what is the goal? What is the goal of the business? What is the long-term vision or mission? And how are the activities and work that you're doing right now leading toward that goal? If you're in a period of retraction because simply the revenues aren't there, readdress what the end goal is and try to cut out unnecessary work, unnecessary waste, even if it's unnecessary reporting or obligations by your team members, and allow everyone to adjust whatever it is they're doing to focus on the goal. And if you have investors or you have other stakeholders for whom you're being asked to give consistent deliverables or updates, really, really say to them, this is a different time. This is a different world. And we need to look at what we're looking at 18 months out. Now, for those of us who are struggling to pay bills today, entrepreneurship is a really, really difficult haul, right? And there are side hustles and side gigs, and whether it is assisting people online or becoming a virtual assistant or whatever it is you need to do to get the bills paid, you can get it paid. But remember, your entrepreneurial journey is not today. Your entrepreneurial journey is over the course of time. Gardens don't grow overnight. And the root structure that you build and tend right now in the time of challenge, if you have a good solid root structure now, when flourishing opportunity returns, you can capitalize on it. So stay the course, be transparent, and really center heart on what is the goal of your business.
I like that. That's good advice for any kind of creative endeavor that doesn't have security in it. So whether you're an entrepreneur, a writer, an artist, staying true to what your personal mission is and even your life, we're all artists of our own life.
Right.
And so when times are challenging, which they often are.
Yeah.
How do you stay true to your vision, true to your dream without getting bogged down by that negative experience? And, and I think that's sort of have that stoicism to keep going.
Yeah.
Even in bad weather.
One of my first entrepreneurial endeavors was a lifestyle blog back when I was in business school called Caution Curves Ahead. And this morning, I actually picked up one of our old mugs, which we sold, right? We sold lots of these silly little mugs. And the mug reads, "The morning is yours to claim. The day is yours to create. Get climbing." And I'm a mountain climber. I haven't been able to do much of that lately because it's pandemic and baby girl. But I love the notion that every mountain can be climbed, and not every mountain climber is going to climb it the same way. You are going to take the steps you need to step, but you can get to the top.
Going along with that, because both you and I climbed Kilimanjaro, but I remember doing that. The mantra was always
Pole, pole.
Pole, pole. Yes, pole, pole, which means slowly. You just put one step in front of the other. Eventually you'll make it to the top, but it's that determined. That's why I think you call yourself a determined optimist, right, Summers?
Yeah, exactly.
You just keep moving forward, and it's a climb, and sometimes you go through valleys, but ultimately the goal is to summit. And if you don't summit, just because you don't summit doesn't mean you're a failure, because failure is part of the experience.
Exactly. That's the other thing I would say is take heart for any entrepreneur who has had to close their business. It doesn't mean your entrepreneurial journey is done. It just means you're ready for the next step. Kristy, we are having so much fun talking, but I'm looking at the time and we have a staff meeting to get to. And
all right. One more.
Okay. All right. You got it.
Okay. So let's really two.
Okay, fine.
I'll say them both and then you can answer them.
All right.
Okay. First one is what audiences can expect when they tune in to the Optimist Daily, the update especially, and also the website and the newsletter. And also, what is it that actually gives you optimism personally?
Okay. Your two-part question, which is actually two totally separate questions, but we'll just pretend. Okay, so when you tune into the Optimist Daily Update, which is a daily podcast that is hosted by Kristy and myself, you'll hear kind of what's gotten us going each morning. We go through the top 10 headlines on the Optimist Daily, usually pick one or two that we're most passionate about. And usually we're about 3 cups of coffee in, so you're going to get a fair amount of personal information. You will also get updates on my baby, because I think the world desperately needs more stories about my baby. May or may not be true. Tucker and Kristy's son also come into the storytelling as well. What gives me optimism is, in fact, my team at the Optimist Daily and the work that we do, and the different content and headlines that I get to read every morning. And some of those headlines include on today's Optimist Daily. See what I did there, Kristy? Headline number 1 today on the Optimist Daily Update is that incredibly remote island creates world's 4th largest marine sanctuary. I was just watching Madagascar today with Brennan, so I'm excited for that story. The UK will ban products sourced from illegally logged areas. Now this one I think is fantastic. Have an old campaign sign, donate it to a beekeeper. Yes, you must, and that story is going to go viral, I am sure.
It's like the circular economy, right, for campaign signs. All right, Catherine, the massive great white shark, has reappeared after an 18-month hiatus, and she's quite famous in the shark following community. So yay,
She's
Catherine.
A beautiful shark.
Beautiful, yeah. Yep. Get back to basics with these 5 gut health fundamentals. This compostable container is going to biodegrade in your backyard in only 60 days, so you can feel very positive about using that paper plate. Battery efficiency solution, just add a dash of potassium salt, and this is an upgrade in how we can improve the efficiency for the lithium batteries that are starting to power more and more of our world. Sustainable fashion, there's a waterproof outerwear, including face masks, which is made from fishing nets. And I just love that these models are now modeling the matching face masks.
I have started to do that to check my face mask. I'm wearing red today, so I'm going to try to avoid my paisley pink face mask when I go out and about.
Now. I've seen jewelry now that it's like a neck chain that holds your face mask around your neck when it's not actually on your face. You can take it off and just hang around your neck, so you don't have to have it around your chin while you're eating or something,
I mean, those are some pretty innovative entrepreneurs. Yeah. Well done. Well done.
And then finally, Barcelona is going to give 21 downtown streets back to pedestrians and cyclists, and that will help to improve the human focus of this beautiful city in Spain. And that is it for the Optimist Daily today. Thank you so much for listening to the Optimist Daily Update. And our long extended Summers is the spotlight today.
Well, tomorrow, Kristy, you're on.
Okay. All right.
Everybody, thank you for listening. Please consider becoming an emissary on the OptimistDaily.com, and for just $5 a month, support reader-funded independent journalism. Be part of the solution-changing consciousness and addressing our world's biggest challenges with a problem-solving mindset. Let's keep the Optimist Daily free to all who need it, supported by those who can. All right, Kristy, I'll see you in the meeting.
I'll see you later, Summers. Bye.
Bye, guys.